he's older than both of them yet. So, thank you. You're welcome. And family friends.
Oh, good. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, let's get this shot.
Wow.
Nope. Ready.
Not yet. We're almost there.
I was ready to go.
Ready to go home?
Yeah, that's
Done.
Scotty, I didn't say hi to you, Scotty. How are you?
Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah, baby. 8:30. I'm out of here at 8:30, 8:25.
I can put it on.
Okay. There you go.
Sure.
You don't have to pick no sleeping
Plug your little earbuds in and we're all set to go.
And Barry told me that.
Is that who has it now?
Where's your project going, Patrick?
Delays.
What time you got a roof and windows in it, huh?
Last time you
I would love that.
Did they win?
Winter snows aren't that far away.
Hey, you guys have
Tough games.
last year's available?
Michigan, they had to play
What?
Last year's
Syracuse.
available from you?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't, if you have a problem, I have one.
Okay.
I'd like to call Ferrisburg City Council meeting to order tonight, Monday, October 1 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hop,
Here.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Twa.
Here.
Councilmember O'Donnell.
Here.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Councilmember Blees.
Here.
At this time, we will have invocation by Councilmember Twa, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that you could challenge each other to reach higher and further to be the best that we can be.
At this time, on the agenda is for public comments. For any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to City Council, time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please raise your hand to be recognized by the mayor. After being recognized by the mayor, please stand, give your name, address for the record. Proceed with your comment or question. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Yes.
Sandy Tuggle, 17939 Dogwood. In regards to the SB 637, please take action tonight to protect the citizens of Ferrisburg by making a resolution to oppose SB 637. It's a very serious issue, and this bill does not align with the Michigan Constitution. The rush to push this through really concerns me. The fact that they want to take away local control is a big red flag. The potential health risks from constant radiation exposure are not worth faster download speeds. If towers are installed, people will have no way to opt out or get away from the exposure. The federal and state government should not have the right to overtake local power, and this is a constitutional issue that we need to fight for. Once rights are removed, it's very hard to get them back. The hearing is in Lansing on Thursday. Please make a resolution tonight to oppose this, and please share with other communities. Thank you.
Royce, 17700 Navajo. I agree with Sandy. I hope you guys take action to protect the citizens of Ferrisburg. It's the least we can do. If we don't know that much about it, do the resolution. It can always be undone later. You can always change it if something's not right, but this is going way too fast, and our children, grandchildren, and our personal health is at risk. So please do a resolution. Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6. Consideration approval of consent agenda. A, approve the September 17, 2018 City Council meeting minutes as printed.
So moved.
Motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7, new business. A, discussion, take action if appropriate, to place on the November 5 City Council agenda, consideration to adopt a proposed resolution regarding leasing portion of the premise of 17290 Roosevelt Road, which resolution shall remain on file with the city clerk for at least not less than 15 days prior to consideration by City Council, and that is summary of the minutes of the October 1, 2018 meeting of the City Council be published in the Grand Haven Tribune.
Your Honor, I move
Yes.
that we consider to adopt the proposed resolution regarding the leasing of the portion of the premises of 17290 Roosevelt Road, which resolution shall remain on file with the city clerk for not less than 15 days prior to consideration by City Council, and that it's the summary minutes of October 1, 2018.
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion?
Craig, you've, obviously you've looked at this, has the city attorney looked at it?
Yes, the city attorney has looked at it. This is basically the same lease as used for our other tenants, and we revised it, and the city attorney approved it. And
The other question, all these leases we've been writing, we've had a kick them out option if by chance we rent the whole wing. Is that included? Where we can give them, I think it was 60 days notice?
6 months. It's under 3A, early termination loosed by the city.
Have we had any interest in renting that whole wing?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Craig, what is Pioneer Resources? What do they do?
They're a service organization that deals with clients with disabilities.
Buses around town, and I just haven't read or heard anything about them.
So they'll probably bring clients in. Some days there'll be clients in here, some days they will not. I was concerned about, we wanted to use the front of the building to where the bus loop is, because there's a nice area to let off wheelchairs. They're kind of interested in using the back because it has the handicap door on it. We're just concerned if they start using the hall during the winter or when it's raining, the hall's gonna get awful slippery. So we're discussing whether they want to bring mats in or just use the north entrance. They're awful anxious to get in here. They need to vacate their current premises by October 12th. So City Council can't officially adopt this lease or approve this lease until the next meeting in November, or the first meeting in November, because the next meeting in October, it doesn't satisfy the 15-day requirement. So City Council is in favor of moving forward with this lease. The city would enter into a short-term rental agreement for the 30 days of October, or it's October already, isn't it?
Craig, you said that they deal with handicapped people and such. What are they dealing with? Any like sexual predators or anything like that? Because we do have a daycare in here. Is that a question that you've asked them? I would be real concerned if that's a case where they're doing counseling for, pedophiles or anything of that nature, because we do have a liability here with the children in this end of it.
Yeah.
I believe it's more physically disabled, more physical and mental disabilities versus other challenges that somebody may be facing.
Yeah, that would be a question I would like to ask. I mean, I'm willing to vote for it tonight, but pending an answer to that question.
Mayor,
Yes.
I got a question for Craig. We don't have, or we've arranged for security in the front office for anybody that comes through the front door. But if we have people coming through the back door, they can walk right into the office, can't they?
So they could. We have that kind of a concern with that now because the charter school across the street comes over and uses the gymnasium during the day, the 3 days out of the week. band members from the charter school come over and use the building 5 days a week, so that door gets open and shut quite a bit of times, but it's never really left unlocked.
We've gone to all the effort and expense to protect our employees through the front door, and now we're allowing people to walk right into the back door with no security whatsoever. I see that as a major flaw in our security for our employees.
I don't anticipate the door being unlocked. They're gonna have a key and they're gonna have to open and lock the door when they come in, just like the charter school does. I can review that with them.
I think that's going to be pretty important, that they know that they can't let others in, that they need to keep that door locked regardless. And the only way in and out, or the only way in is through or with a key. Otherwise, we've spent a whole lot of money for security that we're not getting.
Everyone has the key, correct? The school has the key to get in, and that's locked behind them when they enter the building, or is it left unlocked while they're here?
Always locked.
It's always locked, okay. And the same thing with the daycare? That end is secured too?
Yeah, they have a swipe key or something
Okay.
down there, or a doorbell that they let people
Okay.
in.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Are you done, Pat?
Yeah.
We do have security codes on the doors to our office, correct?
Correct.
Can we mandate those doors remain shut?
Sure.
And then you have to have the code to get in. I guess suppose somebody could get through there eventually, but the girls would have plenty of time to get out the front door, I would think. Would that solve your concern? I mean, if the concern is our staff, we have security on the backside of the office, we have security doors. We have to punch the key code to get in. So if those were mandated to be shut, then we're protecting our staff except Craig. Does that make some kind of sense to you, Craig?
Do you think that there'd be grant opportunities out there, like that our clerk was able to capture for the front door for 80 things to secure this building, the full perimeters of it, like either with key cards or something like that? Okay. Any other further discussion?
Nope.
Motion support on the table? All those in favor stating aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passed. Moving down to 7B. Approve traffic control order 20181, no parking to be permitted on both sides, north and south sides of Sunset Trail and Maryland Court, including cul-de-sacs, for the entire length of the street.
Your Honor, I would make a motion to approve that.
Okay, there's a motion. Support? Further discussion?
Quick question. Sergeant Kick has approved this, correct, or wanted this so they can enforce easier down there?
Sergeant Kicker was aware of it, was reviewed with him. He indicated it really wasn't necessary. When we checked with the fire chief, he was in favor of the posting the signs just to make sure we keep vehicles off there for emergency access.
Question, would the signs include illegal parking will be towed away, or is it just going to be a no parking situation?
It's a no parking sign.
Stating aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passed. Moving down to 7C. Approve traffic control order 20182, a pedestrian crosswalk to establish on North Shore Road between the entrance of Coast Guard Park and the entrance to the sand mine, to the Ottawa Sands. That information was in your packet.
Your Honor, I would make a motion to approve traffic control order 2018-2.
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion regarding this?
Your Honor.
Yes.
I see this as a safety issue with where they want to put the crosswalk. People are gonna have to walk down the side of the road. If they're going to Coast Guard Park, they're gonna have their back to the traffic. And the lane down there is a very narrow shoulder. I think it's a safety issue there, plus the amount of traffic that goes through there. We have a potential for accidents to arise, especially with people new to the area. They're used to just going down there, and all of a sudden they have to stop because somebody walks out into the road. Also, I don't think that at this time that is a needed issue. If they need more space, they do have a lot of room where they could put in more parking spaces over there at the new park.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Craig, could we mandate to the county that where they want their crosswalk, can we mandate that they put a, like a pedestrian pathway to our bike path? So where they're not walking on the street, they have to come down the bike path to the crosswalk?
They will on the north side.
Right.
So the chosen location for the crosswalk is where the bike path dips closest to the south.
Right, but can we mandate that they pave between the, right now they're saying they're between the bike path and the street crossing.
Right.
The other thing I would
What we
ask,
want to do there is put like a couple timbers and then some wood chips in there, keep it natural. We expect to, in 3 or 4 years, when the county develops that park area, that this would go away.
okay, the other question I got is, can we mandate to them that they put like a flashing light crosswalk at their expense in there? You know, what I'd like to see is a crosswalk sign like we have for school crossings, and then with the flashing. So it brings, you're coming right up that hill there. Granted, it is quite a ways from the hill, but you're coming the other way. You're coming around the curve. That would bring attention to motorists that, hey, we do have a crosswalk here. I would hate to see this somebody get hurt there. With the flashing yellow crosswalk light, I'm thinking that any motorist going down North Shore either way would be well aware that, you know, we have possibility of children or even wheelchairs or whatever in that crosswalk.
Up to city council can direct staff to do that. We do have 2 crosswalks with flash signals now, one at the Ridge and Hazel, and the other one at Dogwood and Mohawk. Those are flashing signals. We do have another crosswalk right here on Ridge and 174th Avenue with just a crosswalk without the flashing signal. All along Pine Street there is crosswalks too without any flashing signs or
concern
signage.
is, you know as well as I do, people are going 50 mile an hour down there. I mean, anytime cops sit out there, they can write 30 tickets a day or more. They're constantly speeding on that, and my concern would be, you know, the county has come to us asking our permission, and I think we can mandate what we want as far as a safety issue. And I agree with Tim, this is a safety issue. At least a flashing light would bring attention to it, in my mind.
So we have discussion for a flashing light at crosswalk. And then Craig, you also said that it would only be temporary, but you've already looked at with the county of doing the walkway to connect the bike path, correct? Keeping it
That's
natural?
right. So there's like a designated trail to get from the
Okay.
bike path to the street.
Sure. So now that takes care of what you were looking for having that connector piece or that section in it.
They're asking us for overflow parking in Coast Guard Park. Perhaps we should have a sign at the entrance, next to the entrance there where our bike path connects, directing people down to the crosswalk and then directing people across. You know, I think a couple signs, rather than having them trying to walk across the street there at the entrance and then down the road, we could direct them down the bike path across at a crosswalk rather than willy-nilly going across the street. I can see, you know, a lot of kids, a lot of issues with kids and parents with little ones, and my experience with parents with little ones is, they're not, watching them as close as they could.
So then the flashing light and a couple directional signs directing people down to that crosswalk from there?
That way, and then at the crosswalk, I would move to an arrow point across the street at a crosswalk with the light. I think that's reasonable. I think it's just like Tim says, it's a safety issue. We don't want them walking down that street if we can avoid it.
Does the county believe that they need additional parking at this point, since parking hasn't already been established in that area? Or are they just looking for the future, like the next year or so, to make accommodations?
They open up, they got, in front of the gate now, they got 10 or 12 parking spaces all designated in there. But they expect, you know, to get heavy use of the first couple of years out of it from people wanting to see it.
Already approved them using Coast Guard parking as overflow, correct? I mean, that was on the agenda a while back, and we approved that.
It was in discussion, they were discussing with us.
Ottawa County has a lease with the city to use the area that's just west of the entrance for North Ottawa Dune parking. So we're guessing that most of the cars will fit in that area for the traffic.
Particularly, I know, you know, I go 35 on there, which is speeding, and they passing me all the time. I mean, people pull right on past me on that street. So I have a real concern, number one, the speed, and having people walking willy-nilly across that street.
I kind of agree with Tim, because it shows on here, maybe, Craig, do you know why they want to put the crosswalk 125 feet east of the entrance and not the crosswalk right at the entrance?
Where the bike path is on the north side. The bike path where the location is the closest to the street.
Okay. So it just
it kind of dips down right in that area too.
Okay, so it'd be too far away. Are they planning on putting anything, like any kind of trail that leads from the crosswalk on the south side of the road to the entrance? Because like what Tim said, you have 125 feet, and that's a small shoulder for families or kids or whatever you're walking on. And like what Mike said, the cars are flying by there. I mean, even if there's a light on the crosswalk, it doesn't help the 125 feet by between the crosswalk and the entrance. So, but if they're gonna have a trail or something that they can take that leads to the entrance, that's maybe different.
The plan was to really keep the grass mowed down on the south side of the shoulder to get people to, you know, walk on the
walk
grass.
on the grass, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
I'm not sure what's gonna happen in the winter though.
Right.
Do we have any kind of a time frame for this to happen? My fear here is we're gonna prep our side, and they won't prep theirs until they have the money to do so. And we're actually asking people to cross to a situation that isn't optimal for people in bikes, strollers, or whatever they're gonna cross the street into something that isn't prepared for them to walk on. I mean, you can mow the grass, but it's not grass. It's dune grass. I'm afraid that we're going to be telling people, hey, this is the way to go. You can cross the street here, and then there's nothing there for them to walk safely on, or ride bikes or trail bikes or what. I guess I would like to see a coordination of efforts and or dollars prepping this crosswalk and telling people this is the direction to go, and you can go this direction safely. You know, we're leading them to an unprepared area. That would be my concern.
We could.
concern is the liability to the city. If we're directing people that this is where you cross and then there's an accident unforeseen, what is the city's responsibility as far as liability of that accident happening there with the pedestrian?
It'd be the same as any crosswalks. It would have to be determined on, who was at fault. Was there any error on the city of placing there? Was a car speeding? Was the pedestrian not paying attention?
Your Honor, I would think with the,
Let's go back to Councilman Bertois. Are you going to respond back to?
Well, we can ask the county to do some wood chips or something similar to what they're doing between the bike path and the street on the north side. Designate on the south side of the shoulder to put some wood chips to designate like a trail. That's going to be nice in the spring, summer, fall, but I'm not sure how that helps in the winter.
I just don't want to be leading people to believe that as we're prepared on our side of the street, they're not prepared on the other side of the street, but we're leading them to go there.
If this ever moves forward, we would have to make sure that that was happening, that they had a spot mowed and marked out for people to walk in.
Well, I guess I would like to see a coordination of efforts in that regard.
Right.
Your Honor. It seems we have quite a few unanswered questions at this point. I would move that we table this until we have a representative from the Ottawa County Recreation Parks Commission so they could answer these questions more definitively.
Table, it has to be second, then there's going to be the table motion be voted on.
Craig, we're under no,
But there's a motion on the table right now.
I'll second
I'll
Tim's
second.
motion.
And then if there's a second on it, then there's no further discussion.
I can just second it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's been tabled. So now with the vote, all those in favor of table, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. And then staff will gather more information. Moving down to discussion, take action, if appropriate, to request from John Sanders, 17176 West Spring Lake Road, to install 2 catch basins, pipe, and appurtenances, and to enter into a lease agreement. There was also additional information that was on the table when we arrived from Warren Brugink, referencing down to the highlighted number 8, referencing the same. This was, Craig, you believe that this was from the former owner prior to Mr. Sanders?
That's correct. The current owner purchased the business in 2010. So back in 2009, when we did the West Spring Lake Road street project, after the project, they did a walkthrough, and number 8 was noted that there was a catch basin there at one time, and the owner paved over it for some reason. And so we reviewed that with the contractor, and he indicated that the city should still participate in the catch basin on the corner intersection of Grand River and West Spring Lake Road, because water's ponding on the parking lot. I drove by there today and looked at it. The Public Works Department went over and looked at it. With the rain, there is water ponding on the parking lot, and it's not going towards the storm sewer. So we're thinking that all they have to do is change the parking lot to have that drainage go towards the storm sewer, and it's not going to sit in the parking lot. It's going to be their responsibility to uncover that paved manhole and clean out the piping to that storm sewer. If they do that and take care of their slopes on their parking lot, they shouldn't have an issue with water in the parking lot.
So this wouldn't require any action upon the city, just responding back to the homeowner, what?
The business owner, yep.
To the homeowner, okay,
Your Honor?
yes.
As I had a discussion with Craig this afternoon, we need to clean out that catch basin there on the corner of Grand River and West Spring Lake Road. Is that part of the issue? Because as I was looking at this afternoon, it looked like the water wasn't going anywhere in that catch basin at the corner of the road there.
Looked at it this morning, and when it was raining, there was puddles in the parking lot, but it wasn't reaching the catch basin.
But, yeah, there's a big puddle between their drain and our drain.
We'll make sure that storm sewer is cleaned out, but
Okay, that's our responsibility to clean
Yep,
that
yes,
storm
it is.
sewer.
But that's a catch basin, correct? That's not tied into storm sewer drainage or,
pretty sure it's storm sewer.
it is.
Yeah.
And you say that there is a 4-inch tile that had, and a drain that had been covered up, that was also,
Tied into that storm sewer.
That was in their parking lot.
well, I think they need to address it.
So at this point, we would need a motion and support of some sort,
Your Honor?
or just a minute with Craig.
Take
Or-
no action.
Or take no action.
Your Honor, I make a motion, we take no action on this, request from John Sanders, 17176 West Spring Lake Road.
All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Great. Moving down to 7E, discussion take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a scheduled agenda item, and it should read October 15, 2018. And the couple items on the work session would be Piney Point Special Assessment District, Boarding Commission Policy, and Code Enforcement. My understanding is a couple of council members may not be here at the next council meeting, so we could choose to do all or none or some. Staff is just looking for direction on what to do. What would council like to do? Yes.
I would like to not have a hearing the 15th on the board and commission policy and the zoning reviews. Two of us are going to be gone for sure, and I'm not coming back from Colorado to listen to you.
So then that would mean Piney Point Special Assessment District would be on our next work session on October 15th. A motion for the work session to be October 15, 2018.
Support.
Motion support. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passed. Moving down to 7F, work session. Senate Bill 637. This has definitely been a discussion recently. Over the past few weeks, I've researched Senate Bill 637, listened to the committee hearings, which was in excess of 2 hours, and engaged in multiple conversations with community leaders from around Michigan. Senate Bill 637 is an advancement technology such as the 3G and the 4G. However, this bill severely limits local municipalities' control over roads, and there are concerns for the safety and the welfare and health of our residents. I suggest, I'm putting this out to council, to direct staff to send a letter to our legislators expressing these concerns. I'm not sure who else has had an opportunity to review the bill, information that's out there, conversations.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I too have had opportunity to review the bill and agree with you and Sandy in that this is something that needs to be addressed. So I would agree with having the staff.
Your Honor, would you like a motion?
Nope, it's a work session. We're gathering information, discussing,
Well,
and giving staff direction.
I would certainly support a letter of to oppose Senate Bill 637, and I think we're kind of under the gun here to get a letter out, because isn't it coming up soon for consideration?
It's gonna be having a hearing on Thursday, so we draft a letter, we can email it to them.
Okay.
So we leave this up to staff?
Is a
Counsel.
letter from staff carry as much weight as a resolution from council?
It's the work session. We cannot do a resolution during a work session.
Okay.
Well, we can all
On behalf of council or something like that, on letterhead, and it would go out, and it would be speaking from all of
Could
us.
you come in and sign it as mayor of Fraser?
But if we do it electronically, I don't have we can do it electronically or follow it up with one in writing. I mean, you can scan it in.
Or just say on behalf of the entire city council of Ferrisburgh?
Is that what council,
That's how it would start, on behalf of the Ferrisburgh City Council.
Right. I don't hear any opposition. Okay.
so order will be sent out. Craig, can you let me know when that's ready, and I can come in and review? Thank you. Okay, moving down to 7G. Consideration for adjournment to closed session to conduct an evaluation of city manager's performance for 2017, 2018. We need a roll call to go into closed session. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion. Go close session.
Motion support. All of those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Roll call,
Yes.
please.
Councilmember Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson?
Yes.
Councilmember Blees? Yes. Councilmember Twa?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Donnell?
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Yes.
Mayor Hop?
Yes.
Closed session.
Glad we're not